Welcome back to the Black Star universe. Today I'm coming at y'all with a full introduction of Cyro Black. This is one of the coldest niggas in the Black Star universe, no cap. Before we get into the video, like, comment, and subscribe in that order. K Black Star Gang, let's get into it. Marcus Robinson was born in Des Moines, Iowa, to a family that lived and breathed discipline, honor, and survival. His father, Desmond Robinson, was a seasoned warrior, skilled in martial arts and battle tactics. His mother, a brilliant scientist, worked diligently behind the scenes to understand and harness human potential. It was clear from an early age that Marcus was destined for something extraordinary, but he didn't yet know the full extent of what lay within him. Growing up, Marcus was raised in a household that balanced strictness and love. His father pushed him to be the best, both physically and mentally, training him in martial arts from the time he could walk. By the age of 5, Marcus was already sparring with his father in the dojo, his tiny fists learning the rhythm of combat, the art of discipline, and the philosophy of never showing mercy. However, the world outside was much more complex and dangerous than the controlled environment of the dojo. Marcus witnessed firsthand the societal struggles of superhumans. People born with powers like his own but forced to live under the oppressive laws that saw them as threats rather than individuals. His parents, particularly his mother, shielded him from the worst of it, but the injustice was impossible to ignore. The more Marcus grew, the more he saw the systematic suppression of those who were different, and it lit a fire in him. At the age of 3, Marcus' life changed forever. During a meditation exercise, led by his father to help him tap into his inner potential, Marcus' latent cryogenic powers were unlocked. This was not a random occurrence, but rather a process that had been carefully cultivated through years of mental training. His father's decision to merge his martial arts training with meditative practices was a deliberate one, a step toward understanding his son's potential. The meditation had an unintended consequence: the activation of Marcus' cryogenic DNA, which had been dormant since his birth. The first time it happened, Marcus felt a strange coldness flood his body. He could see his breath crystallize in the air around him, and in a panic, he accidentally froze a nearby table. The shock on his parents' faces was tempered by awe. They had always suspected there was something unique about Marcus, but the full extent of his powers had now made itself known. In the following years, Marcus' cryogenic abilities grew stronger, and with them, the pressure to control them. His father pushed him to master both his martial arts and newfound abilities. But unlike other superhumans who were often controlled or confined, Marcus had a different perspective instilled in him. He wasn't supposed to conform, he was supposed to rise above. Through the years of intense training, Marcus learned to control his ice powers, using them alongside his martial arts techniques to devastating effect. His abilities allowed him to manipulate the temperature around him, form weapons out of ice, and even teleport by dissolving into ice particles. As his skills grew, so did his sense of justice, a sense that the world was deeply unfair to those like him. Marcus' life took a pivotal turn at the age of 16. The government and corporations that controlled superhumans had begun to crack down harder on those with extraordinary abilities. Superhumans were forced to register, controlled, monitored, and often hunted if they failed to comply. Marcus watched as his father, Desmond, fought tirelessly for the rights of superhumans, battling both human authorities and supernatural beings who sought to exploit or eliminate his kind. But despite his father's efforts, the world continued to treat superhumans as tools, weapons, or threats. One night, Marcus' father was fatally injured in a confrontation with a powerful criminal organization that was exploiting superhumans for profit. The loss shattered Marcus, but it also awakened something within him. His father's final words to him were simple: "The world will never change until those who are strong enough take control of their own fate." In that moment, Marcus understood the true meaning behind his father's teachings. Strength, both in body and in spirit, was not just about self-defense or survival, it was about taking control of one's destiny. With his father's death weighing heavily on his heart, Marcus chose to take up the mantle of Cyro Black. He adopted the name as a symbol of both his cryogenic powers and his vow to never again be controlled by external forces. The world, as he saw it, had no room for mercy. For superhumans to survive, they would have to be willing to fight, not just for their lives, but for their freedom. Cyro Black's first major act of rebellion came when he learned of a criminal organization that was exploiting superhumans. These criminals weren't just seeking profit, they were systematically hunting down and enslaving superhumans to turn them into weapons. Marcus couldn't stand by and watch. He set out to dismantle the organization, using his ice powers and martial arts skills to track down their members one by one. His cold, calculated precision in combat, blending his deadly ice-based attacks with his black belt martial arts style, made him a terrifying force. He didn't hesitate to strike swiftly and violently, using his teleportation abilities to surprise and overwhelm his enemies. His ice barriers would stop bullets, his ice weapons would pierce through armor, and his chilling presence froze his enemies in place, allowing him to pick them off with brutal efficiency. After dismantling the criminal organization, Marcus's reputation as Cyro Black began to spread. He wasn't just a vigilante, he was a symbol of resistance. A symbol that told anyone who tried to control or oppress superhumans that they were in danger. His actions struck fear in the hearts of those who sought to control the superhuman population, while at the same time, he became a hero to those who had been silenced. But even as Cyro Black grew in prominence, he was deeply aware of the moral weight of his actions. He wasn't fighting for personal glory or fame, he was fighting for freedom, and the sacrifices were immense. While he would offer his enemies a chance to walk away, he would not hesitate to strike them down if they chose to stand in his way. The deeper Marcus ventured into the world of vigilante justice, the more conflicted he became. His father's death, the loss of his family, and the brutal, unforgiving world he fought against all weighed heavily on his conscience. Was he truly fighting for the right cause? Was his method of taking control through violent confrontation the answer? Or was he becoming the very thing he despised? Despite these doubts, Cyro Black remained resolute in his mission to dismantle the systems of control that sought to limit the freedom of superhumans. He believed that in a world where power was everything, those who wielded it should have the right to choose their own fate. Cyro Black's journey is one of relentless rebellion against any force that seeks to control the powerful. He is a force of nature, cold, precise, and unforgiving. His ultimate goal is not just survival, but liberation. The world may see him as a villain, a rogue, or even a threat. But Cyro Black knows one thing for sure. He will not stop until the systems of control are shattered, and superhumans, and all those who are oppressed, are free to forge their own path. In his heart, Marcus Robinson fights not just for himself, but for every person who has ever been forced to live under the thumb of authority. And as Cyro Black, he will bring about the change he believes the world desperately needs, no matter the cost. I appreciate everyone that stayed till the end. Y'all don't forget, like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell too, in that order. Peace.